Hey Ashura, have you heard of this thing called subliminal messages?
I'm curious to know where you're going with this. Go on.
Alright, so I've heard that people who subscribe to this idea can be made to like what you're doing and follow you.
Oh, so kind of getting people to share an idea.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, who are we interviewing today?
I believe we have someone named Kaida, an aberrant mind sorcerer.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of subliminal messaging, I think we're about to bring in a master of it. All right, and hello there.
Hello?
Hi, welcome.
Wow, you keep this place clean.
We do our best, or at least the kobolds do.
Oh, tiny dragons.
Very tiny dragons. They also have scouts. I think that's where Rue is taking them, actually.
Yeah, I think Rue is taking them out on a field day to have a picnic outside or something.
He's watching over the scout troop tonight. But welcome to the Delegation of Dreamers. May we have your name?
Kaida, that's my name.
I want to make sure I got the right person.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't believe how many times we get the wrong person.
Oh, you bring people out of everywhere?
Somehow Ephraim pulled out a slime, and I didn't think they could sleep or dream.
And that was just out of my nose.
Well,
Is that where you got it?
Anyway,
at least it wasn't the cube.
I was looking for its home for hours.
we should introduce ourselves. I'm Ephraim.
I already said my name.
Did you? No? Okay.
But either way, I'm Ashura.
All right, Ephraim, Ashura. Well, thank you for bringing me here.
Thank you for...
Thank you for appearing here.
We started an explanation. We really need to get an HR person involved and ask about that.
That'd be a good idea.
But it's lovely having you here. May we ask you some questions? We tend to take a record of those that are living and jot down their life.
Sure. I've been more happy to. I express my life to a lot of people. Even if they don't want me to, so.
Fantastic. And is there anything that you would like? Any refreshments or anything? Tea, coffee?
I've never drank any of those. I have to be honest with you.
Oh. What have you drunk?
Ale, honey, and wine, because it came out of my jug.
How about honey mead?
Sounds good.
I'll send Jeremy to go get some. So, Kaida, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Kaida. I am from Baldur's Gate. It's where I grew up. Much like to yourselves, I was raised by a dragon.
Oh.
Kind of common in Draconic. And I have traveled to Chult with a group of weird people that I had met maybe 9 months before we started traveling. I have no stranger danger sense.
I mean, you started talking to us so willingly, I kind of figured that already.
It's more fun that way, you know?
Does give some adventure, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So your father never taught you not to speak to strangers?
No, not really. He was kind of big and scary, so... He was the only person I kind of talked to because the other dragons really didn't like me.
Can I ask, what was your father's name?
My father's name was Furcrag.
Ephraim, do you have any experience with the Furcrag before?
Yeah, I think he kind of looks like you, big and brown.
Maybe a little bigger.
I'll have to get the measuring tape.
Ashura is very sensitive about this sort of stuff.
I never said that. Don't you go put words in my mouth.
But I grew up with him since I was 5. I was raised in a little cave. And then eventually I kind of decided that I needed to leave the nest and went traveling into the city of Baldur's Gate, where I met my party members. I have Marius, Wally, Mugu, and Cassilius, plus their dog Arnold.
I saw a movie once where the main character was named Wally.
Was it a little robot person?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's a robot person too.
Oh, could have been the same person.
Maybe. I should ask him. I really should.
Could be. But you said you were raised by your father from when?
The age of 5. I was really young.
How did you meet the dragon?
Well, I don't really remember too much, but I remember it was like a cold kind of night, and I was kind of running through the forest. And I was a little sad, and he kind of just flew down and said a little hello, which I didn't really understand until recently, when he was teaching me Draconic. But he just kind of took me under his wing.
Oh, that's nice.
Curiosity didn't kill the cat this time, it appears.
Well, sometimes curiosity kills the cat, but satisfaction brought it back.
So what did you do with your group?
Well, with this group, when I had met them, they were looking to get rid of my father because he was a bad dragon and was hurting some of the people in the land and doing some other things too. So I kind of lend them a helping hand with taking down my father. And then I joined them on an adventure to leave.
And how long did it take you to journey and kill your father? What emotions must have been going through your head at that time?
When I first found out he was doing bad things, I was in denial. And then I kind of realized it was all true as we traveled around Baldur's Gate, and I grew kind of sad, but I knew eventually I would have to do the right thing, because one wrong doesn't make any right. So if I had stopped what he was doing, people might be happier. So I killed my father.
I don't know. If you do enough wrong things, it start to feel right.
Mm.
We definitely need to get that HR person. I'm worried about you.
So what was it that your father had done that was so horrible?
He was kind of terrorizing the people at Baldur's Gate. I think he blew up some cities and some lands, and
Yeah, I mean, that's just natural for dragons to do.
especially like depending the color of the dragon, some are more chaotic than most.
Hey, let's not go there.
I'm looking at you there, Ephraim.
What?
You can be a little too chaotic.
What did you do after killing your father?
Well, the party introduced me to a lady named Syndra, who apparently was having some issues with like a magical curse. So I kind of just said I would tag along because I had nowhere else to go.
Ah, Syndra, like the dating app. Cinder.
That's Tinder, my friend.
No. Cinder for dragons.
Oh.
No, she's not an app.
Please don't tell me you've made a fake profile for me.
Okay, I won't tell you. Sorry, you were talking about Syndra?
Syndra, yeah. She was suffering from this magical curse that was happening in another land. So I kind of just tagged along because I had no one else. And I like magic. I know magic. So I was like, ooh, this would be cool.
And out of curiosity, after you killed your father, did you become the leader, or what happened to the rest?
Well, that's a difficult story because people know us for killing the dragon at Baldur's Gate, aka my father. And we tell it different stories. Some say I killed him last, which I did. I did the final blow. And then some say Caecilius did it, or Mugu did it, or Marius. There's a lot of different stories that have been passed around, and all of them have ego complex. So Caecilius thinks he's the leader, but I kind of take over.
Was there any pushback with you becoming the leader?
Yeah, he did not like that very much. He always thought he was in charge. But whenever he talked to people, he sounded like an asshole. He was very cocky.
Ah, okay. Never a good thing to have in a leader.
Plus, I don't think he should be talking to people. He talks to his gun, so.
He talks to his gun.
Yeah.
That's a bit creepy.
Are they sentient?
It is. I forgot what he named his gun, but he kept talking to it quite often and had the urge to hurt people sometimes, very willingly.
Is it sentient?
I think so. It had some magical effect to it. Maybe even a god or something. Or maybe he was just crazy.
Do you know how he got the gun?
No. He did not like me asking about his personal life.
Maybe the gun didn't like you asking about that. Yes, Cat, you are loved.
Maybe not. I have always thought about peering into the gun's mind if it did have a mind.
What stopped you?
Caecilius did, because he held a gun to my head.
Oh, was it the same gun?
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
No, he was very defensive and very aggressive at times, even over little things. Like you tried to prank him or make a joke at something, he's like, "Oh, I'll shoot you," and I'm like, "That's mean."
But you mentioned peering into people's minds. Can you read minds?
Yes, I can. As a Kalashtar, it's our ability to kind of peer and speak through people in their heads. I also know spells that kind of do that. So,
It's one of the weirder things that you've read someone's mind.
to be honest, I think the weirdest time is when we were at a dinner with a bunch of nobles and I was peering into one of their minds. And they knew I was doing it. And I kind of learned that she was cheating on her husband. And she was also suffering from a curse. So,
How often does people think naughty stuff?
Oh, if it's you, probably 24/7. If it's me, probably 25/7.
a bit. You would be surprised.
Would I?
Yeah. There's a lot of weird things.
I've been on the internet. I highly doubt.
Sometimes even criminal activity.
I mean, those could be just categorized as intrusive thoughts. Or you're talking about out activity that they've already done.
More like plotting. Some have already done stuff, but it's not my problem to fix it.
Fair.
Would it be fair, though, to judge a person by their thoughts?
I think so. I think your thoughts say a lot about people. It's like people when they're drunk. Drunk words are sober thoughts.
But isn't it true that most people think about stuff that they don't act on?
They do.
So a lot of people would think about crimes.
We're going into Minority Report territory.
Yeah. We've been watching a lot of movies in this cave.
In my laptop.
What's a movie?
It's like a theater play, but it's inside this little box
Oh.
the show has.
Last time I watched the play was
Why'd you take it?
he's stealing.
Why are you stealing all my stuff?
It's just a sure being so defensive about this stuff.
People always are when you peer into their heads.
Please don't.
I won't. I tried to do it with consent. Only sometimes have I done it without consent.
Appreciate it.
I did to my party when I first met them, and they did not like it.
Oh? What happened?
So when I first met them and heard they were going to kill a dragon, I was like, ooh, what dragon are they talking about, and why would they want to kill the dragon? And then I peered into their heads. One of them was thinking of stabbing some people in an alleyway. The other had actually no thoughts in his head. I was very curious why, and then when I met him, I knew why. So Marius is not the smartest person. He grew up around, like, battle arena, so he's more fist and muscle and punching people than actually school and anything else smart.
So do you think that that's a more trustworthy trait than to not have any thoughts at all?
It kind of depends. To me, I think he was fine. He was kind of very cuddly. The only thing he ever worried about was his armor. He didn't want it to be ruined. And then Wally put a little penis inside of it.
What?
Wally somehow used magic to carve a little penis inside his armor. And he never noticed.
How long have they been planning that?
A long time, but it took forever to get Marius to take off his armor.
The trust had to be built.
Yeah, and it's also like that man needed a shower. Smelly cat.
Do you not like pets?
I do. I have a pet.
Oh, what's your pet?
I have a baby dragon. His name is Cinder. He's a little red dragon. He's super cute.
How did you get a baby dragon?
After I killed my father, I found a little egg in the back of the cave, and I took it and said it was mine.
So, could that technically be your little brother?
Well, it was a red dragon. Mine was brown. So, it was someone else's child, not mine.
Aren't you afraid that your dragon will murder you once it grows up?
I think the bigger question is, you stole a child.
Yeah, that too.
Hey, his mother was not around. She abandoned him. Finders keepers, losers weepers.
Are we sure on that?
Yes, I was 100% sure. But now he's mine, and he's very happy. And to be honest, that's the thing about dragons. You can't change how they act like red dragons. Red dragon's very aggressive and chaotic, so I can't really fix that if he becomes that while he's older. I can just kind of warn him, if you do cause trouble, we will have trouble. Mama don't like that. But I hatched him from an egg, so he kind of listened to me.
Alright. So you said the dragon's name is Cinder?
Like fire.
How long did it take for that egg to hatch?
When I had found it, it took a month or two. Because he seemed to be pretty developed. So he's only about 7 months old.
Still a baby.
Yeah, he's not teeny weeny, but he's still growing.
Make sure he drinks his milk.
Oh, I will. I keep him in a little dimension for himself, so he can kind of enjoy through the day, and so people don't hurt him, because my team likes to fight people, and I don't want my baby hurt. So. Until he can bite someone's head off, he's in his room.
How did the team react to you getting a dragon? Or him hatching?
They were very confused and said not to have him because he would be a distraction, but I kept him anyway, so he's mine. The dog is a distraction, but why does he get to stay? That was my question.
Yep. I wanted to ask, what kind of dog does he have?
A robot dog. Like a little wolf.
A robot dog?
Yeah, he made it. And apparently he can change it to look like a triceratops or like a velociraptor or like a bird, but he chose a wolf.
Ashura, did you drink milk when you grew up?
I'm worried about this question, but yes.
Whose milk did you drink?
Cow's milk?
Were you raised by cows?
No.
What? I'm just trying to understand you, okay?
I feel like I'm having more difficulty understanding you every day.
Who gave you milk? Who gave you a cow's milk?
Moving on. Boilers.
Mm. I mean, I was raised by owlbears, but I wasn't fed milk.
You were raised by owlbears?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I have an owl bear friend, Muku.
Oh, what's he like?
He's very quiet, very chill. He hands mushrooms to everybody because he worships a mushroom god.
Oh,
So all we ever eat is mushrooms.
he must be a fun guy.
I can see how this can become problematic. And Ephraim, I will give you props for that. That was a good pun. That was a
No,
good pun.
it wasn't. No.
Too late.
I regret it. I take it back.
It's going in. It's going in.
The mushroom god's name was Silophere. I didn't know much about her. I'm not the religious kind of person. He was a cleric.
Silophere. That sounds odd. But just confirm, was everyone else on the quest to kill your father before you joined, or did you all kind of come together at some point individually?
No, they were all there before me. So Marius, Mugu, Caecilius, and Wally were all together before I had joined the party, and then I joined. I'm the only girl in the group.
Ah, that can be frustrating.
Yeah, but it's kind of fun because Marius lets me do his hair.
What kind of crazy styles do you have him doing?
I usually do braids for him, and then I put like gold jewelry into his ear because I have a lot of jewelry on. So sometimes I like to put jewelry in his hair.
Is any of your jewelry magic?
I have a blood vial on my neck that I keep. It enhances my magic a little bit. And then I have an amulet on my forehead that controls my guardian.
Your guardian?
Yeah. So I have a shield guardian. His name is Vorn. He doesn't really talk or anything. He just follows like my command and everything in battle. So I can put spells into him and he'll use them, or he'll just punch people and stab them, or most of the time he protects me. So his main goal is to protect me.
And how do you find him?
Well, first I had gotten a book about him from one of the merchants in Chult. His name was Wakanga. He was a really sweet guy, and he likes smart women, so I played smart for him and got the book. And we were kind of traveling the woods and came across a goblin camp where they worshipped this amulet that was on their head. And I kind of showed them the book of a sorcerer, wizard, warlock person controlling a statue with the amulet. And they got really upset and threw us the amulet and then slingshotted themselves out of existence. They kind of put their house in one building. It slingshotted far, far away. I don't know if they crash landed or not. They were just gone. So, after we got the amulet, we found the statue of Vorn, and I put it on my head, and he became mine.
Just like a marriage.
You seem to take a lot of things that you find.
Finders keepers.
I like to hoard things, you know.
You were raised by a dragon, after all.
Yeah, he taught me well. Like, I hoard my friends, and now I hoard a bunch of, like, jewelry and items. It's my favorite things.
I'm sure he would be proud of you if you wouldn't have murdered him.
I think he would still be proud.
Maybe. I hope so. I don't have any other parents that I know of, so. Well, I came from somewhere, but who cares?
Can you prove it?
Well, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't born.
Ephraim, can you do the same?
Where'd you come from? Bunch of owlbears?
No way.
Freaking owlbears.
Did they birth you?
No, I was born to a dragon, but my father murdered my mother and then flew away.
Orphan stories.
Yeah, we have something in common, I guess.
See, you know what? All of us orphans have to stick together, because I don't know what happened to my parents, but I was alone in the woods, so maybe they abandoned me. But I had come from some Kalashstars.
Have you ever looked for your biological parents?
I didn't know if they would want me, because I'm older now, way older now. Maybe they have a new kid. I heard some human families like to do that.
Throw out the old and get the new one.
Right? Yeah, that's what I think. Some people want little boys instead of little girls. Or if they lose one child, they get another one. Ta-da! It's like it never happened.
My father didn't want girls or boys. I've talked more about myself now than ever.
The Lord drops.
Yeah. Hey, Rue isn't here. Someone has to do some lore dumps.
I don't know if I can categorize my existence with a father or mother, but that's spoilers.
Your existence with your mother cow.
It's not raised by cows.
Does that mean you call her Moom?
Moomy.
Muma.
Moom.
But Kaida, except for this murder thing and meeting up with Dindra and her dealing with her curse, have you parted on anything else?
Well, I know we went through a few temples and stuff. That's where I got my magical jug.
Hmm.
It was a very stupid temple.
Were you just there to loot them?
Yeah, someone talked about this really cool temple called the Man and the Alligator, where this man was tricked into carrying this alligator on his back all the way around the world.
Hmm.
And they made a temple for him, and it was set around with like booby traps and stuff.
Hmm.
I got very cut up. I almost died.
But was it worth it?
It was, because I have a magical alchemy jug where I can make honey and mayonnaise and oil and wine and water.
Nice.
Speaking of honey, I think Jeremy's finally back with the honey mead. Thank you, Jeremy.
And also, you should
No.
always loot temples with a lot of traps. The more traps they have, the more valuable the stuff they're trying to protect is.
Took a long time for us to figure out what to do, but apparently throughout this whole temple, you have to be on top of someone's back. So I had Marius carry me after I set off a lot of traps, and then he continued to set off a lot of traps. And it just worked out in the end. Caecilius was very mad, though,
Why?
because we were setting off all the traps.
Is it that what a party is for?
Exactly. Like, what's a party if you don't make stupid decisions?
I'm very certain to stay alive, but we'll give your idea a try.
That sure is a bit weird.
Oh, I'm sure.
Are you sure?
I'm a sure,
What are you sure of?
that you're weird.
How dare you?
Hey, weird people are better than normal people, to be honest.
Alright, that's fair.
Normal people are the weird ones.
Exactly.
Are you saying Ephraim here is normal?
Well, no, you guys are dragons.
True, by default we're kind of weird.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're less than human.
That by default we're weird.
Yeah. I'm weird too. I'm not pure human, so. I look human, but I'm not human. Ta-da, magic.
You're like a one-woman magic show.
Exactly. I did most of the magic in the group. Caecilius could do magic, but he was kind of stupid. So, well, that's my opinion.
So, what plans do you have for the future?
I think as of right now, because we finished figuring out the death curse and got that lifted, Marius wants to go seek his honor back from a people who wronged him while he was in the fighting arena, and he's my best friend, so I told him I would help him.
How did they steal his honor?
How did you solve the killing curse?
So they got rid of his honor by beating him up really badly in a fight, almost killing him completely and then throwing him out the door. It humiliated him and he couldn't go back to the fighting arena. So he started traveling and then he met the party somehow. I don't know all those details there. And as for the death curse, it's part of some artifact that we had to get rid of in some part of Cholt. And there were some crazy beings. But we got rid of, it was an artifact called the Soulmonger. It was a very weird name.
And where'd you find that at?
I do have to say, I didn't know the map, so I know it was in the jungle somewhere in Cholt, kind of there. But we talked to some guy named Artist Cinder, or Simber. I couldn't pronounce his last name. I just called him Artie. He kind of helped us, and so did Wakanga.
Is a soulmonger like a fishmonger, but for souls?
Yes.
Ah, that makes sense.
It brings in new souls, or lost souls from the world. So people, when they die, get brought back to life and slowly start deteriorating and become a way of no more resurrection.
In any direction?
Yeah. So it just kind of took in new souls. And I think he was trying to do something with the world, but you know what? I really didn't know.
So, have you had any interesting fights?
Oh, yeah. We fought a couple zombie T-Rexes.
Oh,
Zombie T-Rexes.
Yes. So apparently Chota is full of like zombies and undead like creatures and like beings.
is that what killed the dinosaurs? A zombie apocalypse.
I think so. Zombies are cool.
Yeah, they're dead, so of course they are.
The first time we fought the zombie T-Rex, we were leaving the harbor of Jolt, and these people were screaming, and the guards were trying to get everyone into the city wall. And I poked in this one guard's brain, and he looked very scared. And he told us there was a bunch of zombies coming, and people were trapped inside this temple. So me and the party kind of went out and killed the T-Rex and the zombies, because the zombie T-Rex was spitting out zombies.
Oh.
Like he just barfed up bodies.
Oh, that's different.
It was very weird.
There's like one of those wooden dolls. You open it up and there's another one inside.
Exactly. The other time we fought another zombie T-Rex was at Camp Vengeance, where a bunch of like soldiers and stuff needed some help because they were all kind of suffering very horribly from injuries and needed to go back into the intercity. So we went to go help, and then a zombie T-Rex and two like flying spectral like beings were there. One of them had me tied up with a bunch of like tentacles on one of the towers, but as a Aberrant Mind sorcerer, I don't need to use certain components for my spells. So without making a word or moving my hands, I killed both of them with one shot of my chromatic orb.
Oh, sounds efficient.
I was stuck in those tentacles for a while, so.
Is that your favorite moment while questing, or what would be?
No, my favorite moment while questing, I think, was when we came across a bunch of frost giants who were looking for Artist Simber, and one of them tried to grab me, and Marius saved me, because he's very protective of me. He's super sweet. I love him. So we killed one of the frost giants.
Is that why I tried to grab you, or
Yeah, the frost giant tried to grab me.
because you killed another one of it?
No, because I spoke to him in his head, and I was like, hey, I'll help you find this guy if you help us with this information. He's like, no, I think I'll just take you.
Alright, that's rather fucking rude.
But we killed his other buddy, who was supposed to be the strongest of his clan, and we brought him back to life to try and be nice and stuff, but the big leader guy killed him again, and took his head.
You're very into beheading things.
A lot of my party members are. But after that moment, Marius and I had a cool moment where we were sitting on the beach, and I was leaning my head on his shoulder, and we just started talking. It was a really nice moment. I was telling him what the frost giants were saying, because no one else could understand them, because I spoke in their heads. And he was just telling me about his days in the arena.
He fought in an arena?
Mm-hmm. He fought in the battle arena. That's where he lost his honor.
Ah, okay.
That was a good moment, though. I love Marius.
That does sound sweet.
Sweeter than Caecilius.
Yeah, I can see that. So, can you tell me, what is the current quest you guys are on? From what you've said, it sounds like you're all still together, so what are you all currently questing at?
Our current quest is to find the people who took Marius's honors, because I promised him after we had finished the death curse and stuff that we would get his honor back, and he can have a worthy of fight with those people. He wanted to do it in the middle of our quest, but we had a time crunch and had to focus on very important stuff. So I made him a promise I would help him.
And all the other group joined as well?
They were pretty much willing to join because they really had nothing to do. Plus, they like fighting, so they heard the word fight and they're like, we're in.
That does sound about right for adventuring groups. So, is he just going to reclaim his honor by beating people that beat him in the arena?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, losing I wouldn't necessarily say is dishonor, but was he a champion?
Yeah, he was. And then they came along and they beat him up half to death.
Ah, okay, I can see.
This is why you shouldn't have any honor, because then it can be taken away from you.
True. Plus, if you don't let people just take away your honor, you can just have your own honor over little things.
Like making your bed in the morning, Ephraim.
There is no honor in making my bed.
No, but keeping clean is an honor.
Yes, I torch my bed with fire every morning.
Oh, good. Get rid of the little buggies.
I'm really hoping you don't use that flamethrower that I got.
Why would I use a flamethrower when I can breathe fire? What sort of a dragon are you, Ashura? Seriously questioning you now.
I confiscated it, thank you, from one of the kobolds.
Okay.
You really think I trust them with that, especially around Rue? He's very flammable.
Anything's flammable if you just believe.
You have experience with this, don't you?
I like fire. But I mostly like peeking into people's heads. That's my favorite thing.
What would you say is your favorite moment when you peeked in someone's head?
So we were at a dinner party with a bunch of merchants from Cholt. Wakanga had invited us as like his honored, esteemed guest because we knew Syndra, and we were going to help them. And I kind of poked into all of their heads, and one of the ladies was cheating on her husband, and she knew I was peeking into her head and got very mad at me. And then I snitched on her.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
How did she react to it?
She was very mad. He was like, it's not nice to peek into people's heads and know what they're saying.
Now, you seem to have been caught a lot just peeking into people's heads. How do they know that you're actually peeking in there? Do they feel something? Do you accidentally talk, or...?
Sometimes I accidentally talk. Other times it's more of they have a magical sense, and you can kind of feel a pressure when someone pops into your head. Sometimes, if you notice it, you have to be a little more keen about that.
Gotcha. Do you have any plans on who to read the mind of next?
I'm going to try and see if Marius will ever have any thoughts into his head. But I also want to peer in the head of Cassilius's gun, if his gun actually has a brain. That's my biggest one.
Alright. Well, we should probably let you get back to it. Do keep us informed on if that gun has a brain. I'm curious by that.
You'll be the first to know.
Perfect. Alright, we'll send you back, and until we see you again, have a good awakening.